It's almost become a dirty term. Profit profits become a dirty term, like a keyword. Like it's bad to be in business. You should just do it just because.
It's bad to make money. Today we're talking about how to get overhead and profit every single time. Is it even possible to get it, at least legally? What do you have to do to get it? So we'll give you some tips. Thank you so much for coming. So overhead and profit, what is overhead and profit? A lot of homeowners don't understand it, so contractors are having pretty hard time explaining it in a civil way, in a way where we don't look like greedy contractors that don't, just never have enough. Because the way insurance companies explain it, it's a little bit different. So on each claim, you have your cost per labor, cost per materials, but you also have a cost to manage the job for general contractors. So overhead and profit historically was pretty much percentage to add to the job. So company who's doing the repairs are making enough money to be in business, to pretty much cover their office expenses, their overhead and profit. That's exactly what it is. So the way most contractors interpret overhead and profit is we have job cost, which is labor and materials, and we also have to make money just like any other business. We have to be profitable, and we have to add profit and overhead in our cost. Unfortunately, overhead and profit is very, very hard topic for a lot of people like Chris who works with the Xactimate and who works with insurance companies on daily basis, because insurance companies don't like to pay it just because you ask for it. We have to argue. It's very different. Some insurance companies pay it all the time, like no problem, and some will go extra mile to make it hard, and pretty much their argument is, hey, you're getting paid enough for your work, we don't owe you anything on top of that. Where companies say, hey, I also have to be profitable. By the time I pay my labor and pay for materials, I also have to sustain in business and put something in the bank to be in business for long term, not just for this one job. So Chris, what's your take on overhead and profit today in 2018? I know it's changed a lot in the last 10 years. Where we're at today?
It's almost become a dirty term. Profits become a dirty term, like a keyword. Like it's bad to be in business. You should just do it just because.
It's bad to make money.
It's an ancillary cost. It's to continue to run your business, to be there for those clients. If there's problems down the road, if there's anything else that they want to do, to establish relationships long term and not just for the short term.
Why does insurance company deny it? Don't they understand that their business should be profitable, contractors' business should be profitable? I mean, if contractors, the fail rate is so big, insurance companies don't want contractors to be successful. 90% of contractors out of business in 2 years, and I guarantee you overhead and profit, it's a big part of it. Because if contractors would get overhead and profit every single time, we would not be closing our doors as often as we do.
It's a business. And I think I touched on this before. Anything that they can omit or accidentally miss and not have somebody catch it saves them at the end of the year, especially during a storm season, hundreds of millions of dollars on these items over and over. Overhead and profit is such a large chunk of money.
It is a large, so it's 10 and 10, so it's 20% of any job. But would you agree that if you don't get the 10 and 10, pretty often you are breaking even? Profit margins right now in the roofing in 2018, I would say across the board, and I talk to a lot of contractors, anywhere between, I would say 5-6% to at the highest, at most profitable companies I've met, it would be like 12-13%.
I think you're right.
So if you do $1 million in business, you would make anywhere between $60,000 to $120,000 in profit, right? And overhead and profit, a lot of times it's will make or break those numbers. So what can you do?
There are many different factors, many different people involved. coordination with homeowners on their time, because this is our job. And the one thing I always try and get across to homeowners when I'm working with them is, let me do my job. This is my job. You have your job. I don't know how to do your job, and I'm better at my job than you are. Okay? So we always want to make sure that we're not crossing those lines. So when they hire us to take us on to handle this stuff for them, that's one of the understandings, and we are going to handle this for them. We are going to fight for them.
What would be your advice to contractors who are just getting in the game? So I know a lot of contractors probably who's watching us, and they've never worked with insurance before. They don't understand the insurance process. They've never maybe asked for O&P. One advice you would give to the contractor who's just started working with insurance claims?
Educate yourself. Educate yourself on your codes. One of the
how's that going to help with overhead and profit?
Well, here's why. Is when we start getting into, I think the term code upgrade it gets used very incorrectly a lot. It's more code compliance. There are a lot of things that have to be done now, and it's getting more and more complicated. It's getting more and more in depth. There are more and more separate trades are getting involved. You're not really allowed to, in most cases, just have a handyman come in and do your roof and siding and windows and carpeting and painting. You're not down to the little guy being able to kind of do all of that. You really, just for legal reasons, have a lot more involvement, and a lot of these trades are licensed. And once you become licensed, now you're into legal situations where people's license are on the line. So then they start to charge more for those services, just like a general contractor. And so as these ancillary costs come up, and all these different arguments can be made, you can start to present those. Here's my electrician. He had come out to do this, and I had to have my gutter guy, and I had to have a painter come in, and I had to have my roofing crew. Having all those things together to present to them, willing to present to them. I think so many people just want to say because they don't know the answer. They don't know why they're asking for it. They don't know why they're asking for something. And that's why I say I think your education starts with understanding where you're at and what codes you have to be compliant with, and what your industry standards are, and what you're doing. I think so many people get into this that actually don't know all the things that they need to be doing. Mm-hmm. And that's where the highest failure rate comes in. One of the things that I want to say is it's getting more and more common with insurance companies. They're getting bolder and bolder, making statements that when we don't agree with their estimate, when we see that it is thousands and thousands of dollars off, and we send it over to the insurance company, correct, they are calling homeowners, and they are convincing the homeowners that we're greedy, that we're crooks. They are saying some awful things to homeowners. I don't want homeowners to be fooled for 1 second. They are doing that to save money.
Well, here you have it, guys. Insurance process, insurance billing, exactimate process, and especially overhead and profit. Obviously, it's very controversial topic. If you're new to it, brace yourself. It's constant battle. What I don't like is how many people out there trying to start new companies, new services, and how many companies trying to convince contractors how easy it is. It's not easy. Getting overhead and profit is not easy. You're going against $billion monsters who will not give up 20% of their profit on their end. And if you're the homeowner and you're watching it, you also need to understand that overhead and profit is not coming out of greed of your contractor. It's literally what your contractor needs to complete the job a lot of times, to be in business, to be profitable, to build empire, so his company will be serving your city for next 10, 20, 30 years. Without it, he's going to be just a statistic, going to go out of business within a couple years. If you're the homeowner, don't fight your contractor when he's asking you for overhead and profit. Help him get it from the insurance company. Maybe there's argument. Maybe when you talk to insurance company, maybe say, hey, I want my contractor to get it. It's totally fine. It's totally normal. It's okay to be profitable contractors. I see a lot of contractors, especially smaller contractors, when they start getting into the space and they're like, well, I'm charging $300 a square. Why my competitor is charging $500 a square? Well, you might be okay to charge $300 a square where you don't have office, you don't have insurance, you don't have employees. It's just you. It's okay. Once you start getting into that, you will have to get all of those expenses and you'll have to cover them. You will have to pay, payroll taxes, and have to maybe have some benefits from your employees. All of that will require more funds, and insurance is supposed to pay for it. So don't fight it. Don't think that other contractors, maybe your competitors, are evil or greedy, and don't feel like you're a hero by charging less. You actually are contributing to this problem because insurance company using small contractors to leverage big contractors, saying, hey, you don't want to do it without overhead and profit? We have 5 contractors who can. Well, I believe that no contractor should work without overhead and profit. If you're working with insurance claim, you have to have it every single time. And if we get organized, we'll get it more times than not. Please engage. Comment below. Let us know what you think. If you're a contractor and dealing with this topic, you're probably watching it on YouTube. We want this information to be out of there. The more you comment, the more you like, the more you share, the more of this will get distributed out there through the internet, the more power contractors have. And we believe we're fighting the good fight. Hope you'll join us and let us know what you think. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching this video. Let me know what you think about the topic today in comments below, and do not forget to subscribe to our channel.